Good morning, students. Now, this is a session 2. Let's see what we will be studying today. Last class, we have seen the basic computer organization, that is your IPO cycle, how the IPO cycle works. IPO cycle, as I have discussed in our last class, IPO means input, processing, output. How three parts, input, processing, and output, are working together to make a computer work. Now, we'll be seeing in brief about all these three parts. Number one, the input unit. The input unit consists of these input devices that are getting attached to the computer. Now, how this input device works? This input device first takes the data, it converts it into binary language, because we know computer understands just one language, that is the binary language, also known as your machine level language. Now, it converts it into binary level language so that the input which the computer has taken can be very well understood by this device. Some common examples are your keyboard, mouse, joystick, scanner, right? Now, the next unit is output unit. This output unit, how it works? Now, the input which was in the form of binary level language, the output unit converts that binary data coming from the CPU to human understandable language, so that whenever you get any output on the monitor or on printer, it is in the human understandable form. A simple human being, a layman can understand the output. I hope the working of input unit and output unit is clear. Next is, we will be seeing some examples of input devices. First example is a keyboard. Everyone is well aware of what is a keyboard, how it works. So what we are doing, we are giving the input to the computer in the form of pressing of keys. Your second input unit is mouse. Your input device basically is mouse. Mouse, it is used to select some text, to move file, folders. Third one is scanner. What a scanner does? Scanner reads the documents, or it can be any file or image, and then it converts it into a digital signal and sends it and saves it in the computer system. So the data which is getting saved in the computer system is with the help of a device known as scanner. But keep one thing in mind, whenever we are getting the printout of that file that has been scanned by the scanner, it becomes an output device. It is now the work of an output device. That device there is known as a printer. Clear? Now, next we have three input devices. First is OMR, OCR and MICR. First I will be telling you about OMR. OMR stands for optical mark reader or optical mark recognition. Now, you must have given some examinations where just you have to circle the correct answer. The question paper is in the form of A, B, C, D, and you have to circle that correct answer. That paper in which you are solving the answers is in the form of an optical mark sheet, and the device which is used to read those marks, read those circles you have filled in the document, is known as optical mark reader. Next is your OCR. Now, what the OCR is doing? OCR here stands for optical character recognition. OCR is another input device which reads printed text and sends to the computer, sends that text to the computer. It is reading that printed text which is in a form of hard copy. Done? Now, the last one input device on this page is MICR. MICR stands for Magnetic Ink Character Reader. I hope you all have seen check. In the check, at the bottom there are some characters written in dark ink, dark blue, black ink. To read those characters, a reader is used that is known as magnetic ink character reader. This reader is used to process the checks. Now let's see. This device is your scanner. Next is your optical mark reader. This is your mark sheet. Here there are some circles here. You have to circle this. This device is known as OMR. Next is this is your OCR, optical character reader. With the help of this reader, we are reading each and every line. Next is your MICR, magnetic ink character reader. Now these are the MICR code, the black ink characters which are written at the bottom of a check. This device MICR is used to read these details of the check. Fine. It is used to check whether this bank check is valid or invalid. It is right or not. Someone is doing fraud, or it is really a check. I hope this is clear. There are many other input devices. You all know about this: microphone through which we speak, webcam to see an image, to capture images, graphical tablets, trackballs, barcode reader. Now what is this barcode reader? This barcode reader is used in supermarkets. Whenever you go to a supermarket such as Reliance Fresh, Big Bazaar, and you purchase any item, some black and white lines, bold lines are there at the back of a product. The person standing there at the billing counter use a device in his hand to just check the price of that product. So that reader in his hand is known as a barcode reader. Now, another example is gamepad, which is used for playing video games. Joystick is also used for playing games. This is your microphone through which I am speaking. Webcam to see the images, to capture images. This is your graphic tablet. Gamepad for playing video games. Mic, barcode reader to read the details at the back, or it can be in front but in the form of these lines. Now this is your joystick, which is used for playing video games and other games. In this lesson I have just discussed these input devices, but there are n number of input devices available. Next is your output device. Now what we have just now heard, output device is something which converts the binary level language, the binary data, to human readable form so that the normal human being can understand what is written on the computer screen. Your examples are monitor, speaker and projector. I hope everyone knows this. Monitor is responsible for receiving data from the computer and displaying that information as text or images. Speaker, it receives sound signal and plays that sound signal so that we can hear songs, music or any other audio. Projector, it gets the data from a computer and displays the same information on a wall or a white screen, right? The next topic, there are few devices which act as both input and output. One or the other way, they are accepting some input and then giving us back few output. So one such device is USB, your pen drives which you are using. Second is a fax machine, which acts as a scanner only, but it also provides a print, that is in the form of output. Another one is a modem, which we use in our homes to get internet connectivity. Another one is CD or DVDs, touchscreen monitors, then your headsets. Headset means it consists of a speaker as an output device and the microphone from which we are speaking acts as a device. Next topic is CPU. Everyone knows CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. This CPU is known as the brain of the computer. It is basically a small chip which is also known as a microprocessor. How it works? It fetches instructions from memory, it reads it. Once the work is done, once it has been executed, it stores the output and displays your results on the output device. This CPU has two components. It's divided into certain parts: ALU, CU and registers. Now, ALU works whenever we are working on mathematical functions, or we are doing some mathematical calculations or some logical calculations. That is, we are comparing different data. For example, 3 is greater than 5. We are doing the comparison. There ALU works. Then CU, that is your control unit. It is controlling the whole processing of the data, starting from the input unit to the processing unit to the output unit. Registers, these are the memory locations from where data is getting stored. So, ALU is clear, CU is clear. Now the next one is your memory register. This is a temporary unit of memory which is in your CPU. It receives data, then this data is held in them as per the requirements. Registers can be of different sizes: 16 bit, 32 bit, 64 bits and so on. This is how this register looks like, where your data is temporarily getting in. We are working on 1024 bytes. It's known as 1 KB, 1 kilobyte. Now let's see, after 1 kilobyte it's come 1 megabyte, then 1 gigabyte, 1 terabyte, 1 petabyte and so on. The largest unit of memory is gigabyte. Here I have shown the conversions, how we are converting one memory unit to another memory unit. Now for example, if I say how many bytes are there in 1 gigabyte. So look here at the third line, gigabyte. So 1 gigabyte, how many? Move back. 1024 into 1024 into 1024. So that is equal to 1024 into 1024 into 1024 kilobyte. Now from where this number has come 1025? This is 2 raised to the power 10. 2 why? Because we know computer understands the language of 0 and 1. So there are 2 bits, 0 and 1. I hope till now about the memory, how it works, how the IPO cycle works, how its parts are working is clear to everyone. Thank you so much. Now this is the last thing, your homework for the day. Just read out these questions and try to answer them in your notebook. See you in our next session. Okay, bye bye. Thank you.